Welcome to part 7 of the individual oral step-by-step process. This is the last part. This is the individual oral assessment criteria and an important reminder about academic honesty. The individual oral is going to be assessed on 4 criterion, and you should study this assessment criteria and practice and refine your individual oral with all of this in mind. Criterion A is knowledge, understanding, and interpretation. It's 10 marks. B is about analysis and evaluation, 10 marks. C, focus and organization, 10 marks. D, language, 10 marks. If you could think of it this way, half of the points are for your thinking. Half of the points are for your organization and language. A good takeaway would be that all of these things are equally important in this individual oral. A closer look. Criterion A. The questions at the top of the slide are, how well does the candidate demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the extracts and of the work's text from which they're taken? So this tells you that part of your job is to show that you need to explain what is actually happening in these extracts and how do they fit in with the rest of the text. You can't possibly explain everything. If you select a passage from a novel, you can't possibly explain the entire novel. But consider the ways that you could briefly summarize or condense the novel, the key points of the novel. Main characters, what is it really about, when does it take place, takeaways. Second bullet point, to what extent does a candidate make use of knowledge and understanding of the extracts and the works or text to draw conclusions in relation to the global issue? So you have to show that you understand the extracts and you have to show how they relate to the global issue. Be very clear about that. The third bullet point, how well are the ideas supported by references to the extracts and to the works or texts? Okay, so you need to make sure that you are referencing specific things in the extracts. Words, lines, sentences, phrases, ideas. Pull those things out. The bottom part of the slide here shows you the level descriptors. So you could get a 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 or 8, 9 or 10. And there's further language there about that you can read later on your own. Criterion B, analysis and evaluation. The bullet point here says, how well does a candidate use his or her knowledge and understanding of each of the extracts and their associated works or texts to analyze and evaluate ways in which authorial choices present the global issue? Okay? You could basically summarize this one as, what authorial choices do you see help present the global issue in the extracts or in the texts? Okay, so this is focusing on literary conventions, specific things that the authors are doing. And you need to go beyond just naming them. You need to show them. So if you see a symbol in the text, show us exactly where it is. And then go on and say, why is that symbol important in talking about the global issue? The next criterion, C, is about focus and organization. First bullet point, how well does the candidate deliver a structured, well-balanced, and focused oral? So it needs to be structured, there needs to be a sense of balance, it has to be focused throughout. And how well does a candidate connect ideas in a coherent manner? So going from one idea to the next, is it logical? Do the ideas flow together, and are you guiding us along through? And next I will talk about, and the first point I would like to bring up, do you have that kind of connecting language that helps the listener understand what your ideas are and how to follow your argument? Criterion D about language is how clear, varied, and accurate is the language. A very important thing to remember here is your individual oral has 2 parts. Has the part that you've prepared, and the ball is in your court. You have every chance to succeed in this individual oral, and you can practice as much as you want. Time will allow you to before it happens. So that's the first part, 2/3 of it really. The last part is the question and answer. Your language needs to stay clear, varied, and accurate in the discussion. Often a student, their register will slip and they'll become more informal when it's question and answer time. Practice answering questions in a formal tone. Stay in a formal register throughout. Academic honesty is an essential part of the individual oral. You must remember to adhere to the guidelines set in Harding's academic honesty policy, especially in regard to authenticity and intellectual property. Okay? So all the ideas you're submitting must be your own. With that in mind, if you have done some research and you encounter another scholar's ideas that you think are essential and need to be included in your individual oral, you must state their names and your sources aloud. You can't take someone else's ideas and pass them off as your own. You must reference them. All work submitted to the IB for moderation or assessment will be authenticated by the teacher. Okay? And there must be no known instances of any kind of academic misconduct. And you will be asked to confirm that this is your work is authentic. In all honesty, part of the question and answer time is a way to ensure that this work is authentically 100% your own. So if you talk about ideas and then you're asked follow-up questions on them and you can't really talk about them, that will make your teacher and the IBO question, are those ideas really your own? So it's best just to be upfront about it. If you have someone else's ideas, give them credit for it, and then synthesize them into your own and move the ideas to a new place. Finally, in regards to academic honesty, the same material for your individual oral cannot be submitted to meet any other requirement. So you can't use it for your extended essay if you're a diploma candidate. Also, the text you use for your individual oral cannot be used on other assessment components for lit. So you cannot use them for the HL essay or for the paper 2 written exam. So once you use them for your individual oral, they're out of contention for the rest of the course. Thank you for listening to these videos. I hope they've been very helpful. Best of luck to you.